years ago, I got to see a Pakistani election up close. I got to see the irregularities in that election, but also the courage of the Pakistani people to come out and vote despite threats of intimidation and threats of violence. If you'll allow me today, I propose to say a few words about where the election on February 8th fell short, where we saw positive elements, and what lies ahead for U.S. policy in Pakistan. The day after the elections, the State Department issued a clear statement. We noted undue restrictions on the freedoms of expression, association, and peaceful assembly. We condemned the electoral violence and restrictions on human rights and fundamental freedoms. We condemned attacks on media workers and restrictions on the access to the internet and telecom services. And we expressed concern about allegations of interference in the electoral process.
डोनाल्ड लू कह रहे हैं कि उन्होंने पाकिस्तान में इंतखाबात का करीब से मुशाहिदा किया और उन्होंने इस बात पर तशवीश का इजहार किया है कि इंतखाबात से पहले इज्तिमा की आज़ादी, राय की आज़ादी और सियासी सरगर्मियों की आज़ादी पर कदगनें लगाई गईं। इसके अलावा उन्होंने सहाफ़ियों पर हमलों की भी मजम्मत की और इंतखाबात के दौरान इंटरनेट की बंदिश पर भी तशवीश का इजहार किया।
And third, several political leaders were disadvantaged by the inability to register specific candidates and political parties.
डोनाल्ड लू ये कह रहे हैं, बता रहे हैं कि पाकिस्तान के हालिया इंतखाबात का जो उन्होंने करीबी जायज़ा लिया और उसमें कई सियासी लीडर्स उनकी राय में इंतखाबात में आज़ादाना तौर पर शामिल नहीं हो सके, अपने आप को रजिस्टर नहीं करा सके। इसके ऊपर वो बात कर रहे हैं और ख़ास तौर पर उन्होंने ख़वातीन सहाफ़ियों के साथ बदसलूकी की बात भी उठाई है।
There were positive elements to this election as well. Despite the threat of violence, over 60 million Pakistanis voted, including over 21 million women. Voters elected 50% more women to parliament than they had in 2018. In addition to a record number of female candidates, there were also a record number of members of religious and minority groups and young people running for seats in their parliament. Pakistani voters had a choice.
डोनाल्ड लू बता रहे हैं कि इस दफ़ा के पाकिस्तानी इंतखाबात के नतीजे में 3 मुख्तलिफ बड़ी सियासी जमातें उभर कर सामने आई हैं और इस दफ़ा ख़वातीन और अक़लियतों की नुमाइंदगी जो है वो रिकॉर्ड तादाद में रही और रजिस्टर्ड वोटर्स की जो तादाद है और जिन लोगों ने अपना हक़ राय दही पाकिस्तानी इंतखाबात में इस्तेमाल किया वो भी एक रिकॉर्ड तादाद थी।
Pakistan is an important partner of the U.S. We share a commitment to strengthening Pakistan's democratic institutions, supporting the U.S.-Pakistan Green Alliance framework, cooperating to counter terrorist threats from groups like Al-Qaeda and ISIS, and bolstering respect for human rights, including the right of religious freedom. Most importantly, the United States plays a critical role in promoting economic stability in Pakistan. We are the top destination for Pakistan's exports. We have been one of the most important investors in critical infrastructure over 76 years of our partnership. For example, the U.S. government is refurbishing now the Mangala and Tarbela dams,
डोनाल्ड लू बता रहे हैं कि गुज़िश्ता कई दहाइयों से अमेरिका और पाकिस्तान के ताल्लुकात की बुनियाद अमेरिका की जानिब से कई शोबों में इमदाद की सूरत में भी रही, जिसके अंदर बराह रास्त सरमायाकारी रही और
Unfortunately, Pakistan is facing
और उनके लिए ये बात काफ़ी काबिल तशवीश है कि इस साल पाकिस्तान के बजट का वफाकी बजट का 70% हिस्सा कर्जों की अदायगी में जाएगा और ये पाकिस्तानी मईशत के लिए एक बहुत परेशान कुन सूरत हाल है।
Pakistan needs economic reforms and it needs private sector-led investment that will deliver economic growth for the Pakistani people and not dig their government deeper into debt. Finally, Pakistani people deserve a country that is peaceful, that is democratic, and that is prosperous. We are working every day to support that vision. I thank the subcommittee for its leadership on developing our relations with Pakistan, and I pledge to work with its members as we execute our policy.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. You were precisely on time. And so, and Alexis is going to make sure that we're all 5 minutes. And
डोनाल्ड लू ने अपना जो इब्तिदाई बयान था वो कमेटी के सामने पेश कर दिया है और अब सवाल जवाब का सेशन जो है वो शुरू होने को है.
We've really come. Hey, we've come a long way to have clocks so you can read. But no, this is so serious, and the 70% debt payment is just so horrific. But not only is it catastrophic to the people of Pakistan, but it's a message to other countries that think that they're working with people that they can trust. They're not. They're there for a purpose, and the time needs to begin on mine now, please. And so as we begin, after the disastrous U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan and with the 13 murdered Marines at Abbey Gate in 2021,
जो विल्सन ने सवाल किया है कि अफगानिस्तान से अमेरिकी फौजों के इनखला के बाद वो अमेरिकी हुकूमत पाकिस्तान के साथ अपने ताल्लुकात को किस तरह से देखती है.
Chairman, thank you very much, and again, thank you for holding this hearing. It's obviously of great interest for Americans generally. Clearly, in the audience today, we have lots of people who care deeply about Pakistan. We are at an inflection point in our relationship with Pakistan. As you suggest, Afghanistan has been in conflict for 40 years, and Pakistan has been a country that has been
कह रहे हैं कि पाकिस्तान पिछले 40 बरसों से अफगानिस्तान जंग में की वजह से मुतासिर रहा है और अब अफगान जंग ख़त्म होने और अमरीकी इनखला के बाद से अमरीका के लिए बहुत अच्छा मौका है कि वो पाकिस्तान के साथ ताल्लुकात को एक नए सिरे से नए खतूत पर इस्तेवार करे.
As they face this terrible threat of terrorism, many of the members have discussed this, but this is a country where the people have suffered
बता रहे हैं कि किसी और मुल्क को अफगानिस्तान जंग की वजह से इतना नुकसान नहीं पहुंचा जितना पाकिस्तान को पहुंचा है. खास तौर पर पाकिस्तान के जो सरहदी इलाके हैं वहां पर हमलों की शिद्दत पाकिस्तान के सिवा और कोई मुल्क नहीं जान सकता.
Exponentially, we continue to see attacks being launched from Afghan territory, and you saw a major attack on Saturday in which 7 policemen were killed by the TTP, the Pakistani Taliban.
डोनाल्ड लू ने कहा कि पाक अमरीका ताल्लुकात की पहली तरजीह ये है कि अफगान हुकूमत से ये कहा जाए कि उसकी सरजमीन पाकिस्तान पर किसी किस्म के हमलों के लिए इस्तेमाल ना हो.
Second, we're very focused on economic stability for Pakistan. For Pakistan to deal with its social, terrorism, and political issues, it needs a functioning economy. And we want private sector-led growth.
और दूसरी तरजीह माशी है कि किस तरह अमेरिका पाकिस्तान की मईशत को बेहतर बनाने में किरदार अदा कर सकता है और किस तरह से उस मईशत का फ़ायदा पाकिस्तानी अवाम को पहुंचा सकता है.
Partnership, people to people with Pakistan. We want to see that grow. We want to see business-to-business relations improve. We want to see the ease of Pakistani Americans to travel to Pakistan and Pakistanis to travel to the United States. Those ties are critical. I have 2 children in university right now. We have many, many Pakistani friends as they've grown up, but also in university. We want to see those numbers expand. Thank you.
And indeed, I'm glad the Pakistani-American diaspora is so important, and they've been so successful as entrepreneurs here in our country, and we want them to send a message back of how free market capitalism has such a positive consequence for the people of Pakistan. Mr. Secretary, there have been
unsubstantiated allegations that the
U.S. government
अमेरिका पर इल्ज़ाम लगाया था कि अमेरिका ने उनकी हुकूमत से बरतरफी में मदद की. तो डोनाल्ड लू से इस हवाले से उनका तबसरा और उनका जवाब मांग रहे हैं.
These allegations, this conspiracy theory is a lie. It is a complete falsehood. I have reviewed the press reporting
साफ अल्फाज में ये कहा है कि ये साइफर वाला मामला बिल्कुल गलत और झूठ था.
Diplomatic cable from the embassy here. It is not accurate.
और उन्होंने इस बात की तरदीद की है कि ना उन्होंने ना उनके महकमे ने बानी PTI को हटाने में किसी किस्म का कोई उनका किरदार था. वो इस बात की सख्ती से तरदीद कर रहे हैं.
Imran Khan, and thirdly,
डोनाल्ड
The
लू कह
other
रहे
person in the
हैं
meeting,
कि
the
अमेरिका
then ambassador
पाकिस्तान
of
की
Pakistan to the United
सॉवरेनिटी
States,
का एहतराम
has
करता है और
testified to his
मुकम्मल
own
सोवरेनिटी
government
का
that
एहतराम
there
करता है
was
किसी
no
किस्म की
conspiracy.
सियासी
We respect the
दखल-अंदाजी का
sovereignty of
कायल नहीं है
Pakistan. We respect the principle that Pakistani people should be the only ones choosing their own leaders through a
कमेटी के
democratic
चेयरमैन ने
process.
डोनाल्ड लू
Mr.
के
Chairman,
जवाब
we are
पर
grateful
इत्मीनान का इजहार किया
for
है
this hearing today for us to talk about that process.
Thank you. And hey, your response is so good because it's so clear that you're correct, and we appreciate so much your clarity on the issue. And good people, indeed, you make a difference. So God bless you. Thank you. And with that, I now recognize the ranking member, Dean Phillips. Pick up your sound, not them. The chair notes a disturbance of the committee proceedings. The room will be in order. And we now proceed with Congressman Dean Phillips.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Secretary Liu, I appreciate your observations on the recent election, both the positive elements and also the challenges. In the State Department's post-election statement, the indication was the United States is going to work with the next Pakistani government regardless of the party. I just want to clarify that that has always been the case, correct?
Yes, sir.
And the department has also expressed concerns about human rights and democracy in
अमेरिकी
Pakistan.
अवामी नुमाइंदगान के एक रुकन ने डोनाल्ड लू से सवाल किया कि अमेरिका ने कभी भी पाकिस्तान में किसी खास हुकूमत की हिमायत की है या नहीं की और उन्होंने इसरार किया कि अमेरिका किसी खास हुकूमत की हिमायत नहीं करता जिस पर डोनाल्ड लू ने कहा कि आप ठीक कह रहे हैं
Statement has gotten a lot of play in the Pakistani press and on social media. Could you elaborate on what was intended by that statement?
Representative Phillips, the Pakistani people, through their constitution, have created a system by which the Election Commission of Pakistan hears the complaints of Pakistani people, of candidates and political parties to render judgments about election irregularities. We, as a partner of Pakistan, have called for that to be done transparently and fully, and for those found responsible for irregularities to be held accountable. We can see
जवाब दे रहे हैं पाकिस्तान के इलेक्शन के हवाले से कि अमेरिका पाकिस्तान के इलेक्शंस के में किसी किस्म की दखल अंदाजी का कायल नहीं है और हाँ वो उसने नज़र रखी हुई है कि किस तरह इंतखाबी मुबैना इंतखाबी धांधलियों के इल्ज़ामात की तहकीकात जारी हैं
the government and the Election Commission to make sure that that is a fully transparent process with the Pakistani public.
Do not recognize this.